So, I've been meaning to do this comparison for a good while. So, I'm a big fan of the Hasbro Overwatch line. So, this is a Hasbro Pharah here, and this is the Figma Pharah. And, like, in comparison, sculpt-wise, they are both really, really good. And, I mean, this is obviously, like, a around $20 figure, and this is like an $80 figure, so you can't really compare them in terms of quality, because the Figma one is obviously going to be better, but that doesn't mean that necessarily that the Hasbro figure is awful, because it's certainly not. But for starters, just like first impression wise, the Hasbro one is too dark. Pharah is a pretty bright blue in the actual game, and it's also using Hasbro's weird swirly plastic, which I'm not that much of a fan of. Like, the Figma one just looks absolutely beautiful. It looks like it's pulled straight out of the game. Second to note is the articulation. You might see that the Hasbro Pharah is holding her gun in a bit of a wonky way. It's because she can't really hold the gun properly. Like, this joint here doesn't allow for it. Like, if this was a hinge that went, oops, like, instead of going like in and out like this, if it just went like up and down like this, she would have been able to, but as it stands now, she just can't do it. She has normal type of ball joints for hips, which actually feels sturdier than the ones that Figma uses. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's also like a ball and socket joint, but they're a little bit more loose. They're not like floppy or anything, but I just feel like the Hasbro one is a little bit more stable. Going to the wings, these are just swivels, unfortunately. The Hasbro, my surface is a bit uneven here, so pardon that. The Hasbro one has ball joints, which are a lot better in my opinion. Like, you can still go in and out, but you can also go up and down. And both wings articulate like this. But the Figma one doesn't have a big gap in here. Also, this isn't really a true comparison either, because I have painted this one up quite a bit just to make the details pop a bit. Like, you see the black details on the shoulders there, and the gun is completely, had a complete makeover. The little missile has some yellow on it. A lot of silver added to the legs. But I think what really sells me on the Figma version is the fact that we can have a look at the faces here. Both faces have painted eyes under them, and they look really good. However, the Hasbro one, that's it with the helmet. With the Figma one, however, you can take off this chin guard, and then you can take off the helmets, take off the faceplate, and you can take this separate hairpiece, put it on, and then snap the fringe back on, and look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. The face printing is on point. A little bit smudged there. And it pops right back on. And this is honestly how I display mine. I also like to do a little makeshift posing with the helmet. Like, you can just have her like makeshift holding the helmet, which is pretty nice. I mean, this one doesn't really, it's not a bad figure to have by any means. It has its ups over the Figma version, like these hinges here are actually articulated. They're not separate pieces like on this one, where you have to take them off and then you can swap to a pair that are just open like that. But I'm not really going to go over the rest of the accessories. And like I said, this one is also like 4 times more expensive. But yeah, just a quick little comparison video. I actually really love the Figma version, and it convinced me to pick up the Mercy figure as well, and I will probably do a Mercy comparison video as well in the future. But yeah, hope you liked it, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
Reinhardt, are we still on for ice fishing? You're not still sore about last year, are you?
Last year? I'll show you! I'll catch twice as many as you this year!
I'll be watching your back out there, Fariha.
Then I have nothing to worry about.